Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. This is Moyna Bass Fishes. I'm Jim Moyna, and in this video we're going to talk about the first tournament here upcoming. It would be Lake Sam Rayburn in the Bassmasters Division II Open Series. You can go to bassmaster.com and read all about it there. But it is on Sam Rayburn, and I've been here before. Several times this exact same time of year. So I have a certain comfort level on this lake. I feel like I can catch fish on this lake. I've caught, a couple years ago, I caught an 11 pounder. A couple years ago, I caught the 11 pounder was in practice. A few years ago, I caught an 814, which was big bass, on the first day of competition in a Toyota series a few years ago. I usually get a check here, not always. Last year when I was here at this time, I did not get a check. It was just a bad situation where my two biggest fish came off the hook. Either one would have got me in the check, and if I had both of them, I literally would have been like 10th to 15th or somewhere in that range. So anyhow, here we are, ready to kick this thing off. Left Minnesota yesterday morning with the forecast of snow, drizzly rain, freezing drizzle mix through Iowa and Missouri. That makes for some really anxious moments as you head that way. I never hit the freezing drizzle till just south of Mason City, Iowa. And it kind of persisted all the way to, I don't know, about halfway between the Iowa border and Kansas City, somewhere in there. But by the time I got to the Missouri border, I felt like I was getting safe. But until then, you have ice collecting on your windshield. I've got this boat behind me that I'm towing. I got this camper that I'm sitting in right here. I got this camper sitting in my pickup truck. So you get a little nervous. You're driving kind of holding that wheel tight. And it never fails, man. When I got to leave for the South for the first tournament, it seems like I'm running into weather, just about every time. And this was no exception this time around. Fortunately, the freezing drizzle never really amounted to slipperiness. I don't know if that's because I was just ahead of it enough where it hadn't really settled in quite yet. I don't know. I don't know what the road, after I got out of there, as far south enough, I don't know what the roads were like behind me that I just traveled. But I never saw a car in the ditch. So, in the road, when I had to get off and get gas, I just walked around in the parking lot of the gas station, tested the footing. Things were still okay. So I think it was just barely warm. If the conditions were any bit tilted towards the cooling range, who knows what would have happened. But fortunately, that's just scary. Driving this rig through that wintry mix is just awful. Now, it was a good thing I left yesterday because there was some slippery conditions in Minneapolis this morning. So had I left my place in northern Minnesota, I would have driven through all that. And who knows what Iowa was like this morning or today. Who knows? But didn't have to worry about it because I left early. So today is Wednesday night. So Thursday night. Today's Thursday night. So I actually have Friday and Saturday where it's still off limits, but I've got a lot of work to do. So it was kind of nice that I got down here an extra day early so I can get everything set up the way I want it for this lake, get my rods, my lines. I want to do a oil change in my Mercury outboard. So that would be the engine block, that oil, and then also the lower unit oil. I got a filter, a new fuel filter I got to put in. So that's going to be on the ticket. I got to hit the car wash, got to hit I always like to hit the tackle shops around here, hit a couple of them in the next 2 days. So So it's going to be, it's always, I mean, there's so much to do always. So we'll be busy with that. So yeah, so that's where I'm at here at Lake Sam Rayburn. I'm kind of excited, although I am excited, but it took me a long time to get to that point. I fished so many tournaments last year and just ran myself ragged that all the way up until my last tournament, which would have been at Lake Mojave on the Nevada-Arizona border, that by the time I was done, I mean, I was done. I was spent. So I really, I don't want to admit this, but I really have done very little studying, very little, I've done very little tackle reorganization, tidying up. My boat is set up exactly how it was on the last day of fishing for fun back home in Minnesota in November. I went out with my buddy Joe Thron out on a Clearwater Lake. We caught some nice largemouth. Just that's exactly how my boat sits. It's exactly how it was on that day. So I got to get that stuff. Just get stuff in line for Rayburn here. That's what I got to do. So, but yeah, I didn't have that. I just couldn't get myself motivated to like address my my tackle reorganization over the winter. It just wasn't there, and so that's that. But then it makes me start to think, well, psychologically, what is that telling me? Is that telling me I'm done? Because I've always been a firm believer that you have to stay diligent in studying the sport. You got to stay diligent in trying to stay on the cutting edge of things. And I watched very little fishing videos. I mean, I just kind of stepped out of the fishing world, just to be away from it. And I'm hoping that was a good thing. But man, just missing out on the chance to study and learn more. I mean, that's a couple months where it just didn't happen. So anyhow, that's kind of where I am mentally. Now I am excited to get out here. Kind of looking forward. I am looking forward to it. This is a cool lake. There's big fish, and there's a lot on the line. There's some good money to be made here. Got to get some good points for this division I'm fishing. I'll get to see some friends of mine that I haven't seen since last year. So that's all exciting, and yeah, it's exciting. And oh my gosh, it's really warm and humid here right now. It's supposed to cool down once we get into practice in the tournament. But literally, it's got to be over 70 degrees right now, and it's like 10:30 at night. It's humid. I'm not used to this. I'm used to like 0 degrees outside, plus or minus 20 degrees. And I mean, and then the house I live in, I keep it, I keep the thermostat anywhere from like 65 to 67 there. So that's what I'm used to. So it's going to take me, I don't know, a little bit of time to get used to this. But now, given that, the fish have been biting around here. I don't know about Rayburn, but there's good reports on Toledo Bend, which is just not far from here. I don't know, about an hour and a half drive maybe. So there's some good fishing. There's been some really good tournament reports coming out of that lake recently. And since then we've had this. It's been really warm down here the whole time, and I'm sure the water temperatures are just been climbing. So this lake is probably just gonna blow up with just all kinds of big fish being caught in the next couple days. you know, like I said, we can't fish tomorrow or Saturday. We can fish on Sunday. So Sunday, you know, these next 3 days or so, it's probably going to be super good out here, and we won't be able to get out there until Sunday. But that's okay, and then it'll cool down, and I welcome the cool down. Really, I'm not ready to just get right out into this freaking 70 to 80-degree weather already. No way. And I'm sure a lot of my northern friends, comrades, colleagues, I'm sure they're really feeling sorry for me right now. So, anyways, it's fun. This is I started my professional bass fishing career where I started fishing like professional, making that my goal. I'd been fishing my whole life, and I'd been fishing, you know, local tournaments back home in Minnesota prior to this, but the year was 1995 when I first fished my first Bassmaster Invitational back then, and haven't missed a year since. Fishing at various levels. Most of those years I was at the top level. You know, I'm trying to get back there. I've had a few years trying to do that now. I'm here again. So I've had like 30 years of this, and here we go again. And I really can't imagine what else I'd do. You know, this is what I like to do. Not all parts of it is the greatest thing in the world. Like driving from northern Minnesota down to here, you know, that's nothing exciting about that. But you know, once you get here, it feels so good to get here. And when I launch that boat Sunday morning, man, that's just gonna feel really awesome. And fire up that Mercury and punch it, and just start racing across the lake with this Ranger Mercury combo, and that's gonna be exciting. My blood's starting to boil just starting to think about that feeling, because it's been a couple months now. So that's enough for this video. We'll be, you know, putting out a video every day this week, all the way through the tournament. Let you guys know how my practice is going. Let you guys know of any silly stories that I might come across or whatever. So, but hey, thanks for tuning in, and that's it for tonight. And we'll be getting out a story tomorrow. Over and out.